let's get this show on the road, huh? Making sure all my ducks are in a row here. So game audio should be going. Mic audio is going. Game audio should be going. Doesn't look like it's going. Sounds like it's going, but I don't know. I'll need to look at that. Otherwise, you'll all have to just listen to me drone on for the next hour and a half, couple hours. And we need that catchy soundtrack. There we go. Okay, game audio came to life. Mic audio came to life. YouTube preview came to life. We are good to go. Hey there, hi there, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome to the festivities. It's game day here. We got some Legends events here going on. We got two 1- and 2-star arenas this week here. But tonight we're going to be doing the Greater Legends one. Now, there's really no big difference from what I can tell. It's just that one is for 4-star shards, the other is for 5-star shards. Like I said, we're going to be doing both here over the rest of the week. And just, see what happens. But before we get going on that, I just want to say howdy. Welcome to the stream. Looking forward to chatting with you guys here the next hour and a half, couple hours, whatever it winds up being. And from the top, Ghost saying first. Yes, you are. Howdy. Kyle, hi. Always a pleasure. And Robert. Howdy. And Guido, hello. Always a pleasure, everybody. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Also want to take a moment and welcome the latest Von subs to the channel. Cheers, guys. Thanks for finding the channel in the depths of the YouTubes. Cheers on digging the videos I put out so far and are interested in the videos yet to come. As always, there is stuff already uploaded up into YouTube that's going to be airing here over the next couple days. Plus, always stuff in the editing bay too. So, plenty of cool stuff on the horizon. With that all having been said, we are good to roll. I'm just going to start plugging away here and see what happens. It's nice that there's no gold cost to get into the arena here, which is a big plus. And there we go. We are off to the races. Now, this is going to be the first time I'm actually running some of these 2-stars. Because there hasn't been a 2-star arena since they did Variant 4. And Variant 4, they wound up having a couple of exclusive 2-star crystals that you could just either pay units for or get just by playing the game. So, in both cases, got a couple of champs that are going to be taking a spin for the first time today. So that'll be pretty cool. And, we'll see what happens. Ghost says, yeah, there's a free 5-star if you get all the milestones. Yes, which is very nice. But not only just the free 5-star, but then you also get some units and a couple of bells and whistles to go along with it too, which is nice. I've got no idea how long it's going to wind up taking to get through all milestones. I know in the headline here I said that it's going to be an all milestone grind. I'm hoping and I'm assuming that it's something that can be done relatively easy in one longer sitting, but we'll see. And just go from there. Guido says they buffed the points earned. That's interesting. I didn't know that they were nerfed. Were they nerfed, or were they just not scaling properly with the multiplier? Very curious all the same, though. Yo, what up, man, Falcon? Always a pleasure. Good to have you. Welcome to the festivities. And Nathan. What's up, bud? Happy Monday. Any of you guys in the chat do this one already, or you can be saving this for a little later on? Now, as far as news goes, today was a huge news day for the game, which is very cool, very nice. I think first and foremost, the obvious stuff is that it's the Legends Appreciation Week. Now, I had thought originally that the Legends Appreciation Week is going to be for everybody who's ever earned a Legends badge ever, which is kind of what the initial um, email made it sound like, right? But since then, it kind of looks like it's a lot more of just the first three people, first to finish Realm, first to finish Labyrinth, and the first to finish Abyss, which is cool, but it's kind of lame spending an entire week celebrating those three people, you know? So, I'm gonna modify it. It's for everybody who's ever earned a Legends badge. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's weird. I wonder where that is, you know? But, I mean, I'm glad that they caught it, glad that they fixed it, because last thing we need is to just spend a copious amount of time in a 2-star arena. Oh, and it now crashes again? Brilliant. Falcon, how many wins are you at to get through the 2-star arena? Yo, what up, Yashis? Thank you for the well wishes. Today was a pretty good day. It was a busy day, but it was a very good day. I hope yours has been fantastic as well. Fantastic and fun-tastic. Hey. But yeah, I mean, as far as the legend stuff goes, I mean, there's the two-star arenas here, which is wonderful. There's the gold and battleship boost, which is also wonderful. There's a separate tab in the store to trade stuff in. It isn't exactly what I was picturing when I imagined like trading stuff in. I was kind of hoping it would be something that would give me a reason to pop open all of those like solo crystals. I'm still probably going to do that at some point. And then just sell a bunch of stuff for the increased gold, but that's going to be a massive endeavor. 66 win streak, okay. Not awful. A bit more than I would have told you like 10 minutes ago, but still, 66 ain't bad. Yo, what up, Supersonic? There is plenty good, my friend. Busy day. It's going to be a busy week. I was joking about it in a previous live stream, but I'm kind of surprised that there isn't like a post on the Reddit forum already complaining about how much stuff there is to do, even though it's all, you know, fun-free, no one's twisting your arm to do it kind of stuff. But cool. Awesome. Thanks, Falcon. Good to know. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's the gold boost, there's the battleship boost, plenty of arenas to farm both, which is lovely. And I think also the most surprising news is that there were beta invites that went out today for Book 2, Act 1, Chapter 1. Of which, fortunately, I was one of them to get that invite, so I'm going to be doing that when that goes live the 8th, so in a couple of weeks. And see what they wound up changing. See if it's actually a whole different setup or what they got up their sleeve. I'm hoping it's a completely different setup and not just like, hey, it's the exact same map and the exact same paths, we just changed the nodes. Because they said it's supposed to be something different. So I'm hoping and anticipating it's going to be something different. Like actually different. But, you know, not going to hold my breath either. Yeah, cheers, Guido. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm just hoping it's not going to be nearly as painful or awful, poorly designed as the first one, the first beta, back when they were still calling it Act 7. Oh, 3 Dooms, lovely. Yo, what up, Naranjon? What's up? What's up, what's good, my friend? Sorry, I'm just adjusting my cord. It's freaking out on me. But I mean, I'm gonna try and avoid getting on my soapbox to talk about beta servers again, because I always wind up talking about beta servers. You guys know how I feel about that. But to in summation, that's cool that the beta servers exist. I just think that everybody should get a crack at one instead of just a few select people chosen at seemingly random. Because the beta server, and the thing that I'm looking forward to the most, aside from, you know, testing out the new content is great, but what I'm most excited about is to get a chance to go on the beta server and then just have fun with rank ups, you know, which is something I think everybody should get a chance to do. You know, go into a beta server with no consequences really, and then just, you know, go ham. You got your rank up materials, rank up somebody that you're never going to rank up otherwise, and take them for a spin, just see how they are. And I am crashing. Awesome. Let's see if that helps. Yo, what up, swag? Long day. Spent all day doing this in the 4-star shard one. Finally got them done, which is good. Very nice. Congrats. Now it's enough time to get started on the tier 1 alpha, as well as just, you know, the regular arenas. All right, so let's reboot this. Let's reboot this. See if that helps. No, man, I think Nirjan, you had it right the first time. The NAB playoffs. The NBA or something else. The NAB or like the off-brand one. Gonna try a 6-star Spidey Gwen at rank 2. Very nice. See, exactly, but that's exactly my point. You know, exactly my point. I think that's wonderful. Nerjit says, "Yo, Rob, what phone do I have? I've got a 7 Plus, an iPhone 7 Plus. So I just heard today that they announced iPhone 12, which I'm kind of indifferent about. Not because I'm not excited that there's a new iPhone on the horizon, quite the contrary. But like, you could have told me that iPhone 10 was out or 11 was out, and 12 now apparently. And either which way, I'm going to be in the market for something new. So, actually, no, it's cool. Because now that they've announced 12, that means that 11 is going to be coming down in price just a little bit. At least for, like, accessories and whatnot. For, like, the case and the screen protector and all that. So, yeah, that is most excellent. I'd keep running the 7 Plus as long as I can. But the battery here is shot, so I can go from it being fully charged to being dead in about an hour or less, which for this game is no time at all. So I'm constantly having to be tethered to a cord. Miss being able to charge my phone in the morning and then just have it run the rest of the day. So let's do that. Let's do that. I think everybody's maxed at this point, right? So let's throw in some of the lower PI champs. I've tried PP. I've tried on iPad before, but I'm so used to the feel of a phone and a 7 plus size device that switching over to something that large, um, it doesn't feel as intuitive for whatever reason. I think the other thing of it too is that like a phone is so, it's like the antithesis of being ergonomic. Like this isn't designed to be held for extended period of time. With this, that like an iPad is even less so, because then you have just a wee bit extra bulk and weight to it too. I'd imagine that the visuals are just like 10 times better though. Supersonic, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. The fact that that isn't something that's just been standard with the game from the beginning is really confusing, especially with all the ridiculous nodes and combos that they invent left and right, such that like the only time you could ever practice or get a feel for a node or a matchup is live, and especially in like AW or something, right? You just have to go in with all that pressure of AW in general and just go in blind and hope for the best. Never been much a fan of that. But I agree with you. I think they wound up saying in the whatchamacallit, in the wish list, that they would be having something somewhat similar to that. But I don't recall them saying of like a solid time frame for that. If that's going to be either something that's currently in development by the end of the year, or like a, hey, wouldn't it be nice? We're kind of working on something, but don't expect it anytime soon. Something like that, But cheers, PB. That's kind of what I was thinking of anyway. Just wait until they start clearancing stuff out, or at least, offering it a. I was about to say something a bit more reasonable, but even at the lower price, it still isn't going to be reasonable. Reasonable for an Apple product, I guess. Come on, don't turtle up on me, dude. I think iPad would, for me, I think I'd be a lot more keen on iPad if I had a stand. Like if I had a stand and then just attach the stand to the desk and just played off of that. That way I didn't need to worry about, holding it in balance, weight, and all that. Could just, play off of it that way. I think I would probably be, I'd totally jump on that. Swag at 68 wins for 1.8 mil and 27 wins for almost half mil and 4-star. Very nice. Rousark, what's up, bud? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the festivities. Open my 5th 5-star. Got Kingpin. Now got Groot, Gilly, Kingpin, Moon Knight, and Ghost Rider right now. Not too hot. Not too hot, but not bad either. Ghost Rider is absolutely amazing. Still is absolutely amazing. Kingpin, not the best bull. He can shrug off debuffs sometimes, which is nice. Moon Knight actually is slightly underrated, but a bit squishy. And Gilly's pretty solid too. So, I mean, it's not... I don't know. Sorry, dude. I'm trying to look for the silver lining there. But Ghost Rider is super solid. And, there's always next time, too. Always next time. figure, especially with this, the Legends Arena right here, should be give you a pretty solid shot at the next one too, you know. Yeah, the reverse controls are awful. Like I remember when they came out and everyone was starting to see that reverse controls was going to be a path, and it's like, oh yeah, just play it like it's Emma. I'm like, well yeah, play it like it's Emma, obviously, but I'm so used to fighting Emma like that everybody else though it's counterintuitive. So yeah, I completely feel you there, especially for some of the more annoying specials to try and dex, like the multi-dex specials. Yeah. Especially if they go unblockable, too. Fun times. Fun times. Fun and interactive. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. And heavy. And that didn't work. There we go. Beautiful. Ghost pulling a 5-star Iceman. Very nice. Is that the I haven't seen your video, so my apologies there. But is that the first time you pulled Iceman? Dang, back-to-back 5-star for Aegon and Domino. Yeah, seriously. Big congrats to you, bud. Oh, very nice, Naranjon. How are you liking the 11? Just overall as a device compared to the older models, because that's probably what I'm gonna wind up getting myself, a 7 Max, I think. Because there's what, the 11, the 11 Pro, and then the 11 Max. And the 11 Pro is smaller than the 7 Plus, but then the 11 Pro Max is slightly bigger than the 7 Plus, from what I remember. Which is nice. May as well have an iPad mini at that point, you know? Ghost Rider isn't useless. Hardly. I love that dude. I'd rank 5 mine in a heartbeat if I had the resources to spare. And Gilly's got some pretty solid synergies too when you pull a couple other champs. So you got the whole power heal reversal thing going. But unfortunately for Gilly, she does need synergies to maximize that utility. Supersonic says, my first 5 stars were Star-Lord, Yellowjack, Groot, Cap, and Thor Jane Foster. Took 2 years to get the Star-Lord dupe. Yup. Yeah, I mean, my first... What was it? First 10 5 stars were pretty trash. I think it was like the first 5 or 6 stars were pretty mediocre too. But I mean, that's just kind of the game too, you know. It's a master class of having to be patient. The trade-in store is nice. There's a couple of things I'm gonna be going for like some of the pots to trade in. It's nice that they've got the option to trade in for a couple of 2% tier 5 CCs. I think that's really nice. I'm just not thrilled about having to trade in 8 tier 4 class crystals to get 2 of them though. Like I know the exchange rate is pretty typical. Like, you know, if you sold like a tier 2 catalyst or a tier 3 catalyst, you get almost a comparable amount of shards as what you would get out of the 2% tier 5 CC. It's just those tier 4s are getting, they're not harder to come across, but you need so many more of them to get what you need. That's kind of where I'm like, very nice. Well, kudos again on the new 11. Come on. There's that. There's that. And the thing I like about Ghost Rider the most is that you can choose when to throw down his buffs. So he's got a bleed, he can proc a fury when he's awakened, he's got power drain, and he's got heals. And depending on the order that you lay those out, you know, the more potent those abilities get. So if you're getting really low on health, then you throw the other buffs down first and then the regen, so you have a pretty chunky regen. Or if you're concerned about power control, throw the other buffs first, then save up for the special 2, so you get a much bigger, longer power drain. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. Plus, I mean, there's the whole bit with the Blade Trinity too. And all that winds up adding up. Took me 3 years to get my magic 5-star. My magic... Okay, so here's my fun story. My first 5-star was Storm. My second 5-star was Magic. But that was back in the days where Magic was pretty much Diablo. So it took me such a long freaking time to save up for those shards and then to get those guys as my first 5s. And then I think my 4th or 5th 5-star was a Magic Awakening. And it wasn't until like 4 or 5 months after that that she finally got the buff that she has currently, where she's actually pretty good. Well, extremely good. But it was it was a completely meme champ up until then. And there's that. Wonderful. Wonderful. Dang, Ghost. First 5 are Corvus, Rogue, Nebula, Torch, and Sentinel. Get out of here. Those freaking god tiers. Lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Razark, you and me both. You and me both, bud. Once you wind up opening them up, let me know what you get. Yo, what up, Bait? Good to see you, bud. Happy Monday. How you doing? Hope the week is off to a good start for you. Yo, and Sohead, how are you? Welcome, welcome. How many units do I recommend for the Collector to take down with 4 stars? A few hundred, probably. Because a revive is, what, 40 units? So just say you need like a dozen of those, so that's what, 400 units? At least that. But then I think really the most important thing is just your saved resources. How many revives you've got currently in your stash, how many you've got in your overflow, how many potions you have in your stash, how many potions you got in your overflow, and most importantly, how many of those freebie 4-hour crystals you're sitting on, because that is really where the your saving grace is going to be. But yeah, a few hundred like that I think is pretty fair. Um, like everything, it's kind of a cop out answer too, but it really depends on which 4 stars you got. Sorry guys, my charging cord is spazzing out all over the place. I think it's time to put it out to pasture. There we go. But see, that's what I'm saying. My phone was fully charged when I started streaming a half an hour ago, and I'm already down 1/4%. Let's do this. Lovely. Lovely. Naranjon, so close to 100% 5-4. Good luck. Good luck. You know, Swag, if I gotta say, thank you very much. Thank you very much ahead of time. I still gotta finish up the video with the 1K giveaway bit. I know some people have done some like ridiculous stuff, like here's a free PlayStation or here's a free Xbox. I'm not gonna be able to do that, but I don't know. Probably whoever wins the giveaway probably either design like an art piece for their YouTube channel or I don't know, caricature illustration of them or something like that. Something fun, something unique. Why is Ghost Rider not poison immune? Why is Ghost Rider not incinerate immune? So many good questions. I mean, his head is on freaking fire. Naranjon, I can rank 5 Doom, my second rank 5, and then I got 2 rank 4 5-stars. Very cool. Very cool. Sorry, Bait. Sorry to remind you. But yes, it is only Monday. Swag, yes. Yeah, you can do that a couple of ways. You can either concurrently record through OBS while you're streaming, which is the best way to do it so it's high quality, or after 24 hours, give or take, you can download your stream from YouTube, but it's pretty low quality. And then you could, you know, reverse engineer it that way. Or yeah, like Ito said, you could just do a screen record through your device. You won't have like the chat, and you won't have you know, face cam or anything else like that, but you would have the gameplay at least. It's like that Harry Potter fire where was it? Is it the Flu Network? Basically, where you throw down some flu powder and you like incinerate, but it kind of tickles. I think that was Harry Potter, right? If you don't get a free PlayStation. Alright. Bye, Swag. See, Swag is just trying to like just trying to like intimidate for his tournament. He's scared he's gonna have to go up against me in Shirmoy in finals. I see how it is. Can Mordo counter encroaching stun? No and yes. He can't counter it because he still gets stunned, but I still think his astral evade triggers once somebody hits him while he's stunned, so I think so. Because encroaching stun doesn't have any sort of ability accuracy reduction tied to it, as memory serves. Yo, what up, Silence? Good to see you. Happy Monday. Saying I was grinding this arena earlier. Yeah. I've just been all over the place in arenas. Put up the infinite streak for 5-star arena because I still want to make sure I get those shards. But then, now that I've got that, then the next project is probably to jump over to Tier 1 Alpha, doing this, now. Get as many points up as I can while these 2 stars are refreshing. It's gonna be a busy week. It's gonna be a busy week, but now is the time to do it. You know, capitalize and get as many battle chips and as much gold as possible. Boink, yoink. Interesting. Don't sell the iPad stand on Amazon. That's weird. What about eBay? Supersonic, why is Blade a skill character when he's a vampire? Lots of questions. I don't know, man, but if this was like 2017, 2018, then I'm stealing the joke. But if this was 2017, 2018, then Professor X next month would be like a tech champion or something. Because they had a habit for like assigning champions random weird classes for no reason. Like, I'm pretty sure Void would be a Mystic champ now instead of a Science champ when he came out. Like, don't get me wrong, Void needed to be a Science champ at the time because Science champ then, the Science class then was just absolute garbage. Ouch, please don't kill me. Oh, thanks. Beautiful. Still fighting King teams? Good lord. Got the typical Monday luck, says Bait. Got trolled on my free cav, landed on some random 3-star next to 6-star Warlock. Ouch. Yup. You and me both. You and me both. Yeah, let's do this. I'm still down, PP. I'm down for that crossover. Streak going. You kidding me? No way, man. 2 sudden deaths in a single tournament for the same team is more than enough. I think Thor Rags had to be skilled just because they like to mix up the classes now. You know, you've got Classic Spidey as a science, you got Stark Spidey as a tech, you got Night Monkey as a skill. Which is kind of nice because that just like avoids the old nonsense. Like you got OG Cap as science, you got World War II Cap as science, you got Beardo as science. Like having the same... They get enough flack for like having the same character numerous times in game. I think they figured at least you could mix it up with different classes, you know. Justify it a little bit more. Yashis just pulled a 5-star Warlock. Dang, nice. Holy cow, that is a fantastic pull. Very cool. Congratulations. I think Void makes sense overall just because of all the debuffs he throws down, which is kind of a sciencey sort of thing to do. But I think the fact that he's more like a second form alter ego of an existing champ. Plus he floats. It's the floating nonsense that gets me. Alright, so I don't think I'm win streak 20 yet, but this has got to be like what, 16 maybe? You know, there's a screen right there that I could have just like looked at instead of just instinctively tapping through. Womp womp. Here on John saying he's in the middle of an online class. Well, you know, say hi to the class for us. If you need us to feed you a lifeline for like a pop quiz or something, you know where to go. Doink, yoink. I realize I make my own sound effects for the game. I don't apologize. I love it. It makes it so much more fun. But there we go. Okay, so that was fight number 16. Got it. I know silence, but it's at the same time it's adorable. It's adorable. Because they're still at a point where they appreciate it. Because, like, any 6-star is going to be super helpful for you at that point in the game, no matter how good or not as good as they are. Because, like, regardless, a 6-star fresh out of the box is going to be really strong if, like, the rest of your squad, you're either running high ranking 4 stars or like rank 3 5-stars. They're gonna immediately be at the top of your profile. At least for a spell. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. Yo, you mean where he just pops out of his symbiote suit and he just does like a very duckly sort of yell? I think Venom the Duck in general is just a really fun, silly idea. Good champ. Silly character, but good champ. I'm just glad they didn't wind up adding like a whole bunch of other symbiote versions of characters. Like, this is Symbiote Iron Man. It's like, nah, we got it. We're good. Quit while you're ahead. Alright, Swag. Take care, bud. Ooh. Very nice. And I'm in California. We got people all over the place. Always wanted to visit Louisiana. Check it out, but also as part of like a food tour. Give me some good eats. I mean, this year's kind of put a kibosh on that whole plan, but that was the idea. Boink, boink. Yeah. Yeah, Silence, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Get some of that numbing Cajun food, too. Because it's so hard to find good food like that out here. Like, everybody out here attempts to make it. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's like if you're on the East Coast and you're looking for a good Mexican place. It's like they have a loose understanding of what like good Mexican food should taste like, but have no idea what any of the ingredients are or how to prepare it. And that's the same way out here with that. It's like, yeah, you know, it's you do a little this and a little that, and yeah, nailed it. And then you eat it and you're like, nope. Nope. Dang, PP, you got that sorted, huh? Scott Weasley. I like it. Thorgrid. Thorgrid's fun. It'd just be a Lebowski Thor from Endgame. Let's do this. I love how the streams always wind up like diving into food, whether it's cookies, whether it's fruit, whether it's Cajun food, location food, whatever. Mm-mm-mm. Well, here's something, actually, another thing about it, because I'm completely ignorant. For you Australian folks out there, like, what's your favorite, like, Australian dish? Like, Canadians get stuck with poutine, and poutine's delicious. But, I don't think Canada heralds poutine as, like, the national dish, you know? I could go for both those things, barbecue and beer. Makes me want some brats, though, too. You get them like good and ready, soaking in beer the night before, and then throw them on the barbie after that. Mm-mm-mm. Grill up the inside of the bun a little bit too. Mm-mm-mm. Heck yeah. Vegemite. Well, that is definitely a contribution. I think we're on this one now. Sure, moving along. Slowly but surely, we're moving along. Cheers, everybody. Well, California's contribution to the culinary world is stealing everybody else's stuff, making it worse, and calling it fusion. So, you're welcome, world. All this food talk, man. All this food talk make me hungry. Like, it's late at night, and I want a full-on, like, 3-course dinner meal now. Thanks, guys. Yep. Used to be a time when that was 18 before they bumped it up. But that was before my time. Then let's do Rolk. Yeah, seafood. Seafood I could go for the Falcon. What's how do you say it? Hanji? Did I pronounce that right? What is that? Paint me a picture. While I think of it, when does the Captain Marvel week open up for the Summoner Showdown show up stuff? Is that tomorrow or is that Wednesday? Brilliant, more network issues. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Because I saw they took down the showdown version of Silver Surfer. But I kind of figured that the next one would go live at the same time that the first one went down, but I guess not. I mean, then again, not like I'm going to be going for it, but still. Hungy? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, what PP said. And then watch out for all of the quick fix solution like creams and products that they try and sell you. It's snake oil for the most part. Like not actually snake oil, but it's a sham. Like they tried to peddle a bunch of stuff called Proactive out here in the States. I'm not sure if it's out there too, but we had Proactive, which is a whole like smorgasbord of different like creams and wipes and this and that and the other. Yeah, you had a special order, and then you had the like industrial grade stuff. But didn't really do anything. It's like one of those things that you really, what it should be. It's one of those things that you watch on for an infomercial, and with like 2 easy installments of $19.95, it can be yours. But I feel for you, bud. I feel for you. I remember that. It gets better. I mean, that doesn't help, I suppose, when you're in the thick of it, but it gets better. Yeah. Because if there's one person I want to look up to, it's Jessica Simpson. Has she done anything recently? Aside from just cash in on the name? Because she was a singer originally, right? And then there's the whole bit with what's his face? Nick whatever. I feel like a douche for even remembering that. And then they were like the power couple for a hot minute, and then their divorce was like the hot thing for a minute, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me what she's been up to that's been worthwhile since then. Aside from just cashing in on, oh yeah, I remember her from the mid 2000s. God, that was forever ago. It's still weird to me that there are adults now that were born in the 2000s. Like, granted, I was a wee youngin' myself in the 2000s, but still, just like looking at it objectively on paper. That's how I know I'm getting old. Well, I think that we could all just take a big collective breath of relief that, you know, she's kind of moved on to greener pastures, at least in the public's mind's eye. I mean, Jessica Alba, too, is kind of moved on as well. Like, I don't remember the last Jessica Alba movie. But well, I think of it though too, pivoting from Jessica Alba and Jessica Simpson. I wound up seeing that the new Charlize Theron movie on Netflix was The Old Guard. No, it was quite interesting. I liked it. I liked it for a number of reasons. I wasn't a big fan that it was so. It's not not really a spoiler. That it was so blatantly sequel baiting with how the movie wound up playing out and the things that happened and all that. Like it's very obviously sequel baiting. But I mean, aside from that, it's a fun premise. I mean, granted, it's also one of those movies where it's fun just watching and enjoying it, but the minute you start thinking about it, the whole concept kind of falls apart. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Kudos to her. That's awesome. Naren John, I listen to all sorts of things. I am all over the place. It really depends on my mood. Listen to synth one day, rap the next, hip hop the day after that, classic rock after that, video game soundtracks, classical, whole 9 yards. There are very few genres that I'm just like absolutely just not interested in. See, rap, I think you gotta say favorite. I think you gotta specify between either musically or lyrically. Like overall, I still am a huge Eminem fan just because I like his flow. And as like a lyricist, that's freaking phenomenal. So yeah, I'd probably stick with that overall. Let's do that. Let's do this. But then again, he also has the benefit of having a much larger, longer library of stuff he's come out with. So it's a lot easier to say, oh yeah, he's got a lot more stuff that's really good. And I mean, yeah, he does, but he's also been doing it, what, 20 plus years now, you know? Where some of the newer rappers are fantastic too, but I mean, they've only been in the limelight a couple of years or a few years at most. So they've got, they've got their hit, maybe a couple hits. And they're still working on making more. Oh, I 100% have a Hans Zimmer day. I've got a Hans Zimmer day. I've got a John Williams day. Just going down the list. The fun thing about Hans Zimmer, though, and John Williams too, but Hans Zimmer to a much, I suppose, a bit more specific bit, is that Hans Zimmer, uh, it's fun listening to his tracks, and then also fun picking out like which parts occasionally that he cannibalizes from some of his other work. Like if you listen to the Gladiator soundtrack as well as the Pirate score, there's a couple riffs that are eerily similar. But no, he's fantastic, and it's fun too that like a film composer can have such a huge effect on the overall meta for film scores, you know. Star Wars amongst many, many, many other things. Basically anything Steven Spielberg related, John Williams did that. I think really that's the stuff that he's most known for. Absolutely. There'd be no Post Malone today if there wasn't an Eminem 20 years ago. You jerk. Your perfect frickin' parry timing. I will give Danny Elfman kudos. Danny Elfman's kind of, I don't know, like for the most part, like Hans Zimmer progressively gets better and more interesting the deeper into his career he gets. John Williams gets a lot more creative the deeper into his career he gets. Like his, for example, right? John Williams was heavily influenced by Gustav Holst from last century, well, the late 1800s, right? So if you listen to, you know, not the Imperial March, but the soundtrack for the Empire in A New Hope, right? And then you listen to Gustav Holst's The Planets, particularly Mars. You know, side by side, it's remarkable how much John Williams sampled from those kind of classics. But, you know, then like I said, later into his career, the farther along he got, the more creative, the more bold he got, and the more confident, I would say. So, like, some of the last stuff that he penned, the last three Star Wars, right? Force Awakens, I think, is fantastic. Probably one of the... Well, Force Awakens was definitely the best of the three new Star Wars that he penned, right? But, like, Rey's theme is absolutely phenomenal in just how strong it stands by itself, but how reserved and subtle it is too. When you contrast that with all the stuff he did for the prequels, you know, where it's just big and bold and loud and in your face. Bringing it back around, Danny Elfman, I think his best work easily was in the 90s. But like his newer stuff, I'm not as big a fan of. Because like his Batman soundtrack completely shaped the way that not only the character was portrayed for the next decade, but superhero films in general too. You know, you had John Williams who did the Superman score in what, the late 70s, or 78 was when Superman 1 came out. And then Danny Elfman did Batman, which completely shifted everything again until Hans Zimmer took over. His Spider-Man 2 score, I think, is the main theme for Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the best superhero songs or soundtracks ever, or so far. But since then, in my opinion, he's kind of fallen off a little bit in terms of strong, memorable music. Well, Naren John, that is an excellent reason not to be a big fan of something. Yeah, Jedi Steps was fantastic. Ray's theme was I think I had so much potential. Like the he laid such good groundwork for what could have been the two follow-up scores. Um, but I think because Last Jedi wound up kind of being all over the place, the my personal favorite for Last Jedi was probably um, Battle of Crete, but then that was mostly because he cannibalized a lot of that from was it Return of the Jedi? And then supposedly, rumor is he had this completely uh, over the top, like awesome score set for whatchamacallit, the last one. But wound up all of that wound up getting scrapped when they shifted directors, and just because that thing was languishing with reshoots and whatnot, that he managed to weave a really interesting story between Rey's theme and Kylo's theme and having them overlap and then intertwine. And I would have loved to hear that, but we never wound up getting any of that because, well, I mean, that movie was a dumpster fire thematically and in production. A lot of cool stuff that they did. It had the makings of a good movie. It just died in committee, I think. Oh, I blame her for a lot of things. I blame her for a lot of things. I will say, though, I think the best thing that Kathleen Kennedy did was let Dave Filoni have his own space for Mandalorian, and then also because of the success of that, because of the success of Rebels and Clone Wars, then they let him come back for a final season of Clone Wars, which was easily the best of the series. And I hope many good things are in store for him. I realized what I said. It was Jon Favreau who did Mandalorian, but Dave Filoni was consultant. Yo, what up, Tom? Welcome to the stream, bud. Good to have you. We are talking about music tonight. Cheers. So then I'll also say this. It's really... I mean, it makes sense just because of his age and how long he's been doing this. But it's sad on one hand that John Williams has retired from penning scores. I mean, he's been doing it the last 40, 50 years, right? So, I mean, it makes sense. It's just sad that there won't be more John Williams scores. But on the flip side, very, very fortunate to have been around for his huge 90s revival. So you got stuff like Jurassic Park, which is 90s, the Star Wars prequels, which was 90s, early 2000s, Harry Potter, which was late 90s, 2000s. I mean, just to name a few. Schindler's List was 90s. So much good stuff. And what, 80s was the Olympic theme, E.T., Indiana Jones, right? Yeah, Indy was the 80s. So much good stuff. Tom, ranked 5 in Aegon earlier. Awesome, dude. Really? He did Top Gun too? Dang. Yes. Yeah. Definitely Jaws. And then Superman was late 80s, I think, right? Well, that Aegon was an excellent choice, Tom. Excellent choice. But then stemming from music, just because there nowadays, aside from a couple of the greats, we're talking about Hans Zimmer most notably for being like the big film score. A lot of people either just have like a working soundtrack or, just mooch off of whoever the, it singer band is whenever the movie comes out. But then, the games industry has had a huge golden age for soundtrack and music development too, such that you've got big name film composers coming in to do game scores, which is even more exciting because a film score is you've got 2 hours of a film to score, right? So you probably come up with what, 3 hours worth of stuff and have it pared down, 4 hours, pare it down to 2. For a game, you gotta have tunes to last for an entire 30-hour campaign, right? So then you've got guys coming in, big name people who know what they're doing and penning stuff to last that full 30-hour campaign. And with games coming out like left and right and growing like weeds and going like going gangbusters, there is plenty of cool stuff out there. And I will say that if you got to put, if you got to compare them, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, the John Williams Superman theme trumps the Hans Zimmer theme hand over fist. Man of Steel had a lot of good music. I'm not going to lie. It had a lot of good music. But in terms of, like, when you listen to that score and think of the character, John Williams invoked much more that heroic sort of noble hero character as opposed to Hans Zimmer. Flight was a fantastic piece, and it was moving and it was uplifting, and which was great. But to me, it didn't compare. Never noticed just how much of a friggin' Kamehameha wave it is that Sinister does on that special too. Yo, what up, Cap? Good to see you, bud. Happy Monday. Welcome to the festivities. We are talking about films and film scores and game scores now. Who's your favorite composer? Or what's your favorite soundtrack, I should say? Nice. Nice, Tom. Niranjan, that's such a tough thing to nail down. That's such a tough thing. I I will say I really dig how studios are giving stunt people much more leeway in coming up with their own films. So you have films like Atomic Blonde and John Wick before it that function well as stories, right? But the action is absolutely top notch. So John Wick 1 is absolutely fantastic. Atomic Blonde, absolutely fantastic. John Wick 2 was good. It was better. John Wick 3 I wasn't a big fan of, personally. But I think narratively the Avengers series uh, works out the best for like a overarching continuous story. But as far as like continuous story, artistic cinematography, at least I gotta give that to the James Bond series, or at least the most recent stuff with Daniel Craig, just because the people they put behind the camera, and more importantly, the principal photography is so friggin' top notch. You can talk about the story, you can talk about the plot, and that's extremely fair commentary and criticism right there. But those movies just look good. Tron Legacy had a fantastic soundtrack. So did a Social Network. The shame about Social Network is that, um, like, the score itself is almost 2 hours of just continuous, new, interesting stuff. It's just that maybe a quarter of it, if that, actually made it into the movie. So when they nominated Social Network for an Oscar for original score, I was like, what? I mean, it had an interesting theme, but no. And then I actually listened to the soundtrack and saw that they wound up shelving most of the stuff. And then I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it. I have not seen House of Flying Daggers. Niranjan, James Bond's a bit old for my time too. I'm talking about the Daniel Craig stuff, the new stuff. Like the last movie was what, 4 years ago, which is a long time ago for movies. But like Daniel Craig's been doing it since mid 2000s, so it's still contemporary. Speaking of which, Tom, it was fun, and we were talking about John Wick too, John Wick 3. But like the final sequence in John Wick 3, where he's in the was it the skyscraper, the mirrored room with all the mirrored columns and whatnot. That was the same place that they shot the opening action scene for Quantum of Solace. As soon as I was watching that part in John Wick, I'm like, hey, I recognize that place. That's really what I dig at the end of the day too. Like the story is just the continuous thread from continual art pieces and art setups. That's why I really wanted to see the movie 1917, I think. That came out last year. Like, okay, sure, you've got you got the story, and it's supposed to be a continual shot. It's not, but it's shot to look like it's a continual shot. But the art of how each scene and each frame is composed, I just eat that stuff up. It's just eye candy for me. You know, I mean, Fast and Furious is quickly becoming a long-term film series, but I haven't seen enough of the newer ones to say if it's a series that has overstayed its welcome or not. Yo, what up, Sarge? Good to see you, bud. Welcome to the festivities. Yeah, John Wick 4 is coming out next... Is that next year? I think John Wick's coming out first, and then Matrix 4 is coming out the year after. Originally, they were slated for the same day release, but because of everything right now, it wound up getting all mixed up. Yeah. We'll do this. Good enough. Ah, it's all good, Sarge. All good. And then Venom 2 is... Still, there hasn't been a trailer yet for Venom 2, right? They've just been, like, playing up the casting. There's been a couple set photos and stuff like that, right? My opinion on Jason Bourne. Bourne Identity #1. Wonderful film. Wonderful film. It's fun. It's paced perfectly. Really solid action for the time. Bourne Supremacy, the second one. One of the best intros to a film, action film. Which really led into being invested in the rest of the story. Then there was Bourne Ultimatum, the third one. It's like, okay, cool. There had to be a third movie. Second one ended with a cliffhanger. Let's wrap this thing up. It's fun. It's actiony, but cool. And then they came out with Jason Bourne, and I mean that was a movie, and that was released, and people saw it, and yeah, that's about it. Weren't they going to be coming out with either a reboot or... No, they did, actually. That was with Jeremy Renner, right? The fact that I forgot that movie even existed until right now, I think says enough. Deadpool arena for platinum pool eligible players. I would love a red pool arena again. It's been over a year. It's definitely time. It depends what they do for Matrix 4. Like I really like the original idea, right? Where they had Michael B. Jordan supposedly as like the son of Morpheus, right? And I love him as an actor. He's he is so fun to watch. And I could have gotten behind that in a heartbeat. The fact that Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are coming back is cute, but I I don't I don't really need to see that. I don't really want to see that. I want to see another story in the world, in the universe. But I don't need to see another story with a Neo character and a Trinity character. You know? That having been said, anytime Carrie-Anne Moss is in something, it's always fun to watch. She was easily one of the highlights of the whole Jessica Jones series for me. So, kudos to her there. But as far as like Matrix goes, not as much. Let's see what we got. And I think the thing with Matrix 4, though, too, the only way that it could work, or the best way it could work, is if they keep the action, if it's live action. Like, that's really one of the coolest things about Matrix 1, is that, like, for all the different action moves that they were all doing. All of that was with a live actor, right? And it was the super clever, innovative camera work, and at the time, cutting edge CG that really sold it. But then by the time you get to like Matrix 2, and you had the Smith fight in the middle of the movie, and you wound up switching out the live actors for CG ones, then it's not exciting anymore because it's all a video game. It's all, you can do anything in a computer. You lose that sort of realism, I suppose. That clever sort of realism. And then it becomes just another generic CG slugfest. So, hopefully that's what Matrix 4 winds up being. Like, that's why I'm excited, because they're bringing in some of the people from John Wick who were originally with the original Matrix. So, you can shoot action, keep it live, keep it fresh, keep it interesting, and then just go to town from there. All right, so that I think is gonna do it for this arena for right now. I've gone through the entire roster. I don't really want to dive into the 1-stars just in case, but that's 38 wins in. That is it's a little over 600,000 of, what is it, a million? Is that the last milestone? Go ahead and claim this stuff here, and then dive in and do the rest of it. Rest of it probably tomorrow. Which means it's time now. Wow, to look at the clock, really. I'm gonna have time to do a couple more things. Okay, so it's 1,000,000 points. Cool. Yeah, I mean, they could either be overseers, or since like Neo was absorbed into the Matrix, the Matrix could wind up using like the visage of Neo and of Trinity as like the new face of the Sentinels or the bots. Or it depends too, because each time they reboot the reality, right, then they replace Zion with the same lot of people, right? So like when Neo was talking with the architect in Matrix 2, and all the different Neos were on the TVs having different reactions to meeting him for the first time. I mean, maybe that could be it too. Like, what if Neo and Trinity never got pulled out of the Matrix, and then that's how they wind up being in Matrix 4? They're just regular people who never got unplugged. I don't know. That could be interesting. But so long as it's focusing on somebody else, as opposed to, hey, Keanu Reeves gets unplugged a second time, then it's like. All right, so let's wrap tonight up by doing a couple more paths here in the whatchamacallit, the ISO event. Got to burn some energy, and since it's a daily event, it's got to get done. I really like Creed 1 because I thought it was a very solid evolution of Rocky as a character while introducing another, younger Rocky-esque character. Never wound up seeing Creed 2 though, so hopefully they're able to keep the positive momentum up from Creed 1. They've already said though, like I would really like to see Smith back in some form, right? But because that actor is such a delight to watch, he just eats up the scenery. He has so much fun with his roles, whether it's in Matrix, whether it's in Lord of the Rings, whether it's in V for Vendetta. I never saw, was it Mortal Engines? Because Hugo Weaving was in Mortal Engines, I think, right? But such a fun actor. He has, unfortunately, though, confirmed that he's not going to be in Matrix 4, though, which is a shame. Got a 2-star Mojo and a Storm X from those 2-star crystals. Very interesting. I didn't know that those guys were even in those crystals. Awesome. Well, then as soon as I burn the energy here, I have to go spin those open. It's nice that they updated the crystals, though, with some of those new champs, as opposed to just being the same people from before. Has Hugo Weaving done voice acting? Because Jason Isaacs is in the same boat as Hugo Weaving, where he's just such a fun villain to watch, and he's got that strong, distinct voice as well. But I know Jason Isaacs has gone on to do a lot of voice acting for cartoons and shows and whatnot, right? But I'm not sure if Hugo Weaving has. I know Hugo Weaving's big on stage work. I'm not sure about doing voiceovers. Tom says, got a 5-star Cosmic Awakening gem. If I rank 5-star Corvus, how good is he? He will be one of your cornerstones. And the best thing about Corvus is that all he needs is Sig 1 to have like 99% of his effectiveness as a Awakened champ. So you don't need to pour a whole bunch of Sig stones into him. But yeah, he's practically indispensable. So, yes, definitely recommend. Transformers movies. Oh boy. Yeah. like Corvus has pretty decent prestige, right? He's in like in the top 70% of cosmics, but he's not going to be like your god tier cosmic prestige champion. But all he needs, like I said, is that one sig level to trigger his glaive charges for that glaive immunity. That way you can, I don't want to say you can cheese AQ, but you wind up saving yourself an awful lot of pots and a lot of revives because he's got that awaken ability. So yeah, don't kill it, don't drain your stash over it. Cool. Alright, so there's that. That is my energy depleted. And let's close out the stream, open up some crystals. Before I do that, though, let me just jump over quick. Let me see if there's anybody else streaming tonight. Maybe get a raid going. There's no I know BG's got his stream going sometime in the next half hour or so, but yeah, this is somebody new. Hollywood Shano YouTube live streams. Alright, well that is quite a name. Who's Slice 'em? But I mean, speaking of Matrix, Matrix is one of those movies I can just watch and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. Alright, so this is where we're going to be going in a little minute. That's going to be the handle. But let's see if we get any new shiny 2 stars. Wait for the stream to come back here in just a minute. There we go. Oh. Forgot that was live. So we got 5 collector crystals. I wonder who the 1 stars are, if they have a new batch of 1 stars or if it's the same lot. Well, let's see what we got. Bunch of old dudes. Bunch of old dudes. So, crystal number 2 is somebody new, hopefully. Ooh, that would have been nice. Wolverine. Yo, what up, Nathan? Glad to catch you in the tail end of things here. They keep teasing that freaking Wolverine. Son of a gun. I haven't seen Storm X show up in the reel. But 2-star Supreme would be really cool too. Yep, alright, so that's just junk all around. 5 up, 5 down, 5 junk. Alright. Whatevs. Alright guys, that is going to do me for tonight. I want to say a big thanks to all you guys for hanging out here the last couple hours. It's always a pleasure. Getting to chat with you guys during the live streams is always the highlight of doing the live stream. So, kudos. Cheers to you guys. If you haven't already, if you would kindly like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that stuff does help me out immensely, and I do appreciate it. The channel is well on its way, and in the home stretch of getting to the first 1,000 subscribers. So, really, thanks everybody. Gonna be, let's see. We're gonna be doing a few more live streams here this week. Got a bunch of videos coming out shortly. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, I think that's a wrap, guys. All right, till next time, everybody. Take care. Talk soon. Stay safe. And be well, everyone. Bye for now.